Now to a follow-up. Today marks 3 months since 29-year-old Harley Morris disappeared from the 50 Grand Club in Tyler. He was last seen walking on North Grand Avenue in the early morning hours of January 21st. East Texas News Weekend's Avery Niles reports the family held a prayer vigil today to lean on each other for support and keep the search efforts going.
I will not stop.
Today, family, friends, and even strangers of Harley Morris gathered in the parking lot of the 50 Grand Club to host a prayer vigil 3 months after he disappeared. Taylor Attaway, Harley's brother, says when he thinks of Harley, there are only fond memories.
He said what he meant. He says what he means. He always building everyone up around him. He's who I strive to be.
Since Harley was last seen walking away from the club on the security footage, there has been no trace of him.
We have not found his body. We have not found a shoe, a hat. We have nothing to go on at this point.
Wendy Attaway Morris, Harley's mother, says today was to keep his name on people's minds and to lean on each other for support. She says it was heartwarming to see today's turnout.
Knowing that other people care enough to come out and dedicate their time out of their days from their families, it means everything.
They were also giving away bracelets to raise awareness, and a family friend has developed a fishing lure in honor of Harley, and half of the proceeds for it will go towards the reward fund. Casey Muse met Harley while being a patron of a restaurant Harley worked at. Today, he prayed over the family.
I prayed for strength, wisdom, guidance, vigilance, covering of protection for Harley, for family, and for community connections.
Wendy is asking for anyone with any information to come forward.
Don't be scared. We're not going to judge you. Whatever you have to say, we just want to hear the information. We are not here to try to prosecute you in any way. We just want information to find Harley.
Avery Niles, East Texas News Weekend.
Harley Morris was last seen wearing a black jacket with gray sleeves, black pants, and a black Prime 102 hat. There is a $10,000 reward for any information that helps find Harley. If you have any information, you're asked to please contact the Tyler Police.